You'll eventually get there. You'll eventually get there. But if you had a little bit of planning and use that same effort in the planning, you might get to where you want to go much quicker. And that's really why we talk about the asking questions and making decisions. But then taking action is as important, if not more important, than those other two. And then the second part that we talked about earlier today is reflecting on your strategy. Is it effective? What are your biggest obstacles? Where can you improve? And Bill and I had a great conversation of one of the efforts that I find incredible in this country is the Blue Angels, which is the elite Navy
right.
pilot, right? And these guys are flying the most difficult routes, the most difficult maneuvers, and they're flying it in I don't remember if there's 6 of them or 8 of them, Bill, or how many of them are there. But they're flying within a ridiculously close proximity of each other, going hundreds upon hundreds of miles an hour, right? After every single campaign that they do, every time they go out there and practice, they might fly for 15 minutes, half an hour. They have an hour-long debrief where everyone, including the commanders, the people in the control tower, everyone on the team, they all sit down with the notebooks, and they sit down for an hour, no matter how long the flight was. And they go through, okay, what happened at this move? Okay, but then you banked left. Did we all bank left on time? Did we need to bank left more or less? And to everyone in the stand, to everyone that's ever seen them, they know that their show is incredible, astounding, and they look like they're executing it to perfection every time. But regardless of how well they execute, they still go back and reflect on it, and they still look for ways to improve on it. And it's no coincidence that that's their practice, and it looks like they're doing a perfect job to everybody else. Because even when they're incredible, they're still looking for ways to improve. And that's what the power of reflection does. And you can't be shy. I think my friend is in a similar industry, and one of the things she always says is, ask for feedback. Look for ways to improve. Sometimes you might not know what the mistake you made. Have no shame in calling them up and being, listen, I really liked your company. I'm sorry you guys didn't hire me. If you don't mind me asking, and I won't take this personally, why did you guys decide not to hire me? Was there something that you were particularly concerned about in our interview? And hey, that's life. It's a learning process. Maybe you might have made a misstep, but the biggest shame is not learning from that misstep, right? The biggest shame is being willing to repeat that misstep because you're too shy or maybe uncomfortable asking for advice or ways for feedback, right? And so that's really what reflection is. And I think that's very, very important for any process, but in particular the job search process. And then the last one is recalibrate your plan. And if you ask great questions and you make good decisions and you execute to the best of your ability, you take a lot of action, and then you're honest and upfront when you're trying to figure out how you performed. What did you do? What did you not do well? Right? How could you improve on what you did? If you go through all that, recalibrating your plan is usually pretty easy because it really points you in the direction that you need to go. So I think that's sort of the finishing touch going around the full cycle, so to speak, is once you get back to asking questions again, that's really where you decide to recalibrate your plan and figure out where you want to go from there. But the more times you go around that cycle, the better off you're going to be at finding something that you're really passionate about and that you enjoy doing. So that would be my advice for everybody here.
That's great. So, Nick, that's great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see there's a quick summary, which is just commit to the direction, develop a plan to get there, work smart and hard. That's code for, be productive, not just active. Continually learn and improve. And I like this one that I tell a lot of people this, but think about Tom, and that's my boy Tom Edison. And people were asking him, well, what was your process like with the light bulb? Didn't you fail all these different times? And he goes, I did not fail. I found 2,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. And that's the process,
Talk about confidence, right?
Yeah. sometimes you just got to lay it out there and accept that, right? So I hope this has been helpful for everybody, and there's my contact details below. I mentioned that there's some invaluable information that I talked about with regards to understanding on how to add value to a company and how to understand the mindset of the employers that are going to be hiring you. And there's a little white book that I created on that I mentioned that I'd be wanting to give out to everyone in the participating audience today. So if you guys just send me an email if you're interested, you could do that. That's my contact details there. And of course, as Bill mentioned before, I do consulting work and stuff as well. So I hope everyone's been finding this helpful, and it's been a pleasure with you guys here today. So Bill.
Great. Nick, yeah, thank you so much. And just briefly here for 22 seconds or so, again, thank you for your time and your insight there. We do have one question, and I'll just parlay that into actually next month, or this individual is welcome to email us further. But it's talking about how do I get more interviews? I've gone through the internet and send all these resumes out and really only have had 2 interviews in the course of a long period of time. And I think literally it does have to do with watching out for spending your time on the job boards and not maybe networking to the level that we're able to and that we can help and show you. That is the next actually speaker, September 15th. And he's going to share with us how networking really works and networking to help break into an industry regardless of the economy, and the biggest mistakes that even the smartest and most confident job seekers make when they are networking. And his name is Pete Liebman, and he has spoken to audiences over 4,000 students. He's also the creator of the Washington Wizards Sports Career Day, and that's attended by thousands now since 2004. So we look forward to that as well. And so those of you wanting something more on networking, certainly that event will help greatly in that vein. And then again, Nick, we'll have this recorded, and we'll have this for anyone that wants it. We should be able to pass that out and give you this information as well. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and happy job searching. Thank you.